So I know this is late. It's the middle of January, and I should have posted this weeks ago, and for that I apologize. But I am going to be going over my favorite reads of 2023. I have a big stack here. A few things. Number one, I don't know how many books there are. I don't think there's 23. To me, that's a lot, and I don't want to talk that much. Number two, I don't want to go over these synopses because I've probably talked about them before. So what I'm going to do is give you like a 1 to 2 sentence reminder of what the book is. So I guess like a mini synopsis, but not the whole thing. And then just tell you how I felt when I read the book. And so like the emotions that it evoked for me, which is why I considered it a favorite. So I read 95 books in 2023, and these are some of my favorites. So this first one that I have, I'm pretty sure I've gotten annoying about it, and I'm not sorry. It is The Last One by Will Dean. We have a woman and her boyfriend that get on a cruise ship and they go to sleep, and then she wakes up alone and no one else is on the cruise ship. That's all you read on the back. That's all you read within the first 10 pages. The rest of the book, you have absolutely no idea what's coming for you. I felt like I was on a little sailboat and there were waves coming left and right, but my eyes were closed and I didn't know where they were coming, so I was just hanging on for dear life. It is the definition of the word unhinged, is this book, and it is definitely worth your time. This next one I've gotten kind of annoying about too, and I'm not apologizing for it either because I think it deserves all the hype, and that is None of This Is True by Lisa Jewell. Follows a podcaster and her birthday twin. The birthday twin's a little weird. Podcaster's really popular. They form this friendship. Podcaster interviews the weird friend, and a lot of really odd secrets come out. You honestly don't know what's coming. Like, you don't know the story that you're about to be told. So it's really cool in that way. But I felt like I was watching a true crime documentary about someone really weird and intriguing, and I felt like I was binge watching the true crime documentary when I was reading this. So again, it's worth the read. And I hope I don't say it's worth the read every time. I gotta figure out a better way to end my little spiels. My next one is The Only One Left by Riley Sager. To me, this is his best because it is atmospheric and spooky, but not... What was that? Sorry, my phone went off. Atmospheric and spooky, but not in a way that's going to creep you out, just in a way that makes you turn the page again. It's on a cliff, this really big house on the cliff, with a woman who is paralyzed, but the woman who's paralyzed is supposedly a child murderer. No, she murdered her family when she was a child. There it is. Not a child murderer, but a murderer as a child. Nursery rhyme is made after her. It's really creepy, and the caregiver is the one that we're following. So she's trying to figure out what's going on. It truly is an atmospheric read. Like, he did a really great job of making you feel like you were isolated on this cliff, in this house, couldn't go anywhere. So I felt suffocated, but in like the best way. So that's why that one's in there. So this one just came out, so now I can officially talk about it as a favorite because now you can go get it. And that's Only If You're Lucky by Stacey Willingham. This is a favorite because it involves a group of girls and their drama. I don't have a lot of girl drama in my life, so I like to read about it. It made me feel anxious, and I realize it's going to turn some people off, but I mean anxious in a good way. I think it's talented that an author can make you feel things. So I felt really anxious while I was reading this because of all the girl drama going on, because of her childhood, because of the murder that happened, and just the way that it all came together. I've read a lot of twists in my day, and this one was, I don't know if it was a new one, but it's definitely one that I haven't read in a really long time, so it got me. And that's why I really liked it. My next one is The Last Word by Taylor Adams. We have an author and a reviewer. The reviewer gave the author a 1-star review. Author got mad and said take it down. Reviewer said absolutely not. An author comes for reviewer and tries to kill her. Is this on my list because I don't want Taylor Adams mad at me? Maybe. But it's also on my list because it's a really good book and I thoroughly enjoyed it. It was a great year for Stacey Willingham. It was also the year that I read most Stacey Willingham. But this is All the Dangerous Things. I love the trope of insomnia. It automatically makes that character the unreliable narrator. I felt like I was going insane. It was like, because what do I believe? Do I now believe you? Are you trying to trick me to not believe you because you are obviously the unreliable narrator? Or am I supposed to follow my instincts and not believe you? And so I was going back and forth with myself, and I was wrong because I'm always wrong. I've read so many thrillers and I'm always wrong. But we follow a woman whose son was taken from his crib when he was 1, and she's been struggling to sleep ever since then. And so now she's trying to figure out who took her son, where her son is, all the while trying to at least get 3 hours of sleep in the night. This one is a little controversial in opinion. You either really loved this one or you really hated this one. And that's Midnight is the Darkest Hour by Ashley Winstead. I think Ashley Winstead is on the cusp of the next thing. The way that she writes is really creative and merges like 3 different genres, and she always pushes the limit. And this day and age with books, I feel like we've read everything. And so when an author tries something new, I get super excited and I will normally give it a high rating because you tried something new. Now, with this one, that's not why I gave it a high rating. I gave it a high rating because it made me miss my 12-year-old self who loved Twilight. This was a love letter to Twilight, and now I'm going to write a love letter to Ashley Winstead for writing this book. Has some Bonnie and Clyde feel, has some creepy vampire feel, has some romance. It just made you feel all the emotions that you feel every day in life, especially if you feel creeped out by some vampire-esque things. I've talked about this one before, but I really enjoyed Stone Cold Fox by Rachel Keller Croft. My bad. This is a cat and mouse game between a con woman and her dumb fiance's girl best friend. The con woman's trying to get married to this elite man, and the elite man has a girl best friend, and the girl best friend sees right through it because we all can. Girl best friend's just trying to catch con woman, and con woman's trying to, outsmart girl best friend. And it's a lot of fun. I read this really quick. I don't know if I would call it a thriller, but it can lean in that category. I felt like I needed to finish the story to know where it was going because I didn't know if I was missing something. And so I had to finish it. I read this within a solid 24 hours. Like, it didn't take me long at all. And so I just loved it for that feeling that I had to finish it to know what was going on. You don't feel that too often. Next one here is You Can Trust Me by Wendy Hurd. This just made me feel like I needed to call my best friend and tell her that I loved her. We just have these 2 best friends who met because they were both homeless and they came together, and now they're like sisters. And one of the best friends goes off to an island with a rich man and doesn't come back, and the other best friend cons her way to the island to figure out where she is. it just made me feel oddly warm because I saw how far she would go for her sister or her best friend, and it made me want to call mine. And I did, and I said, I love you, and I told her that I would go to an island for her to find her, and she just said thank you. And I don't know if she knows what I was talking about, but the fact that she didn't ask. I had to fix my battery, and now my energy's gone, so we'll see if that comes back. I'm almost done. Another one that I really enjoyed was Dead 11 by Jimmy Giuliano. This one was a lot of fun. It was told in somewhat of a mixed media format, but there's a disappearance, and there are clues that lead the main character to this island that's not even on a map. They get there, it seems like everyone's stuck in the 90s, and they're doing the same day over and over again. When I watched this, I felt like I was in some horror movie, which is the point. Like, the point of this movie was to evoke that feeling. This book was to evoke that feeling, and I think it did a really great job. It just made me feel creepy. Like, the ending was out there, the story is out there, it did something really creative, so I really enjoyed the story, and I was able to get through it quickly. It was a fun one. It was a really unique one. 3 left. This is just a really great domestic thriller, which I don't know how long it's been since a domestic thriller has been on my list, but it's Just the Nicest Couple by Mary Kubica. This is just a really well-told domestic thriller. There's not anything new about it. When you look up the word domestic thriller, it fits that description pretty well. It was just told really well, and the twists were done really well. It's been a while since I've been excited about finishing a domestic thriller, and so the fact that I found one, I read it, and I thoroughly enjoyed it, made me put it on this list. Again, I don't know the last time that's happened with domestic thriller. They all kind of sound the same now. Second to last is The Quiet Tenant. So The Quiet Tenant, it reminded me of Notes on the Execution, whatever that book is called. We have a serial killer / kidnapper, but we are following the point of view of the girl he's kidnapped, his daughter, and his girlfriend. And so during this book, you just feel a little somber because you are seeing him through the eyes of these 3 different women, and you can imagine how he looks through these 3 different women's eyes. Through one, he's this cold-blooded person. Through one, he is super romantic, and through one, he is a loving dad. And so you have these weird feelings of like, I really like him, but I also really hate him. It did a great job of showing that people have different layers. Now, please don't let one of your layers be a kidnapper, but we all have layers, and this did a great job of exploring that. And the last one, in no particular order, just the last one on the pile, was The Hike by Lucy Clark. Normally I don't like books that are surrounded by terrain, being outdoors overnight with storms, etc., because normally they mean some type of gore or the survival is really in depth, and this didn't get to that level, which is why I liked it. So we have these group of girls who decide to go on a hike in a different country for their annual vacation, and of course things just go awry. Not only are they trying to live through the night, but now they've also found out that there's this murderer out there that they're trying to escape from, and so 2 stories collide without the gore. which I thoroughly appreciated. So if you kept count, let me know how many that was. These were the reads that in 2023, they just stuck out to me. I can absolutely remember what they were. I still know what I was feeling when I read them. I don't even think I told you I was feeling about all of them, even though I said I would. These were the ones that just stuck out. So if you agreed with any of these, I want to hear your opinions, but I also want to hear in the comments about what was your favorite 2 or 3 of 2023, your favorite 23. Put all 23 down. I think that'd be fun. So I want to know what you read. I want to know what you enjoyed, so that way I can know your taste. Thanks for coming along with me and hearing my somewhat synopses of these books, and I will see you next time.